Hey guys, welcome back. Let's talk Dogecoin. And in this video, we're going to go over a couple key topics. Okay, first, Doge, and not just talking about the crypto, but also the Department of Government Efficiency, the close ties within Elon Musk and Dogecoin. We're going to go over a couple things because we're going to get into the historical conversation within the returns if you would have invested X amount of dollars within Dogecoin when he first tweeted about Doge, okay? And that is going back, way back when, but I think this is relevant for this discussion to kind of see what the influence is Elon has on Dogecoin. And I've talked about in previous videos, it's sometimes not the best thing, okay? And I don't really want the cryptocurrency that I'm involved with subject to such volatility when just a single person can influence it one direction or another. Sure, if you're swing trading it, that's great, and that does present a lot of opportunities in the short term. But if you do believe in meme coins, you believe in Dogecoin, this is going to be a really relevant discussion, so let's get right into it. If you're new to the channel, awesome. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us right here on the platform, all right? And as we do get into this conversation, we are going to pull up kind of what the market's doing right here, right now. We'll dive into coin market cap, talk about kind of where we're at. The market cap for the overall crypto market has been kind of flat. We're up 0.33% at the time of recording. Fear and greed is sitting at around 27, and we haven't really kind of went up or down since then. All right, Bitcoin still trading a little bit over 82.5 as we talk about Ethereum, hovering around 1,800. It's been kind of flat, to say the least. Now, there are a lot of rumors, a lot of subjective voices out there talking about the markets. We'll see a huge correction on Monday. This was one of the posts came out from Jim Cramer. I did repost it on X. If you don't follow me at X, make sure you do so at TCryptoMark. But this is something where it's relevant because usually when he says something, it does the opposite, kind of what we've been seeing within the moves Donald Trump has been making in terms of cryptocurrency. So we'll see what happens come Monday, but this is where we want to talk about Dogecoin, talk about Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, and kind of that historical basis. All right, if you would have got involved with Dogecoin since Elon first started talking about Dogecoin, the Doge father, I'll share with you guys kind of those numbers as well. So let's get into it. Also, guys, if you are trading on an exchange and you want to find a new one, this is spot and leverage trading available by BTCC. Check them out. Links are down below. They have a volume competition ongoing right now, as well as a lot of cool things that are available to U.S. clients. It's a long-standing exchange, very trusted, 14 plus years in the industry. Links down below if you want to start trading with me on BTCC, okay? But let's get down into kind of this conversation. If the Dogecoin price will crash if Elon leaves the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, we've heard kind of the talks, what's going on with the Tesla conversations, very unfortunate. It's kind of ironic and a lot of hyperbole just to think that, what a political party who was such in favor of clean energy and essentially no government involvement in all this that's going on. It just completely contradicts itself. But to leave the political conversation to the side, we want to talk about this because this is what's relevant to the price of Dogecoin, okay? Now, none of this is financial advice. I will never tell you guys to buy or sell a crypto. Keep that in mind. Always be sure to do your own research and due diligence, okay? But this is where we look into the markets at Polymarket, where you can gamble on political nature offerings as well as other things out there. But this is where we've seen the odds of Elon leaving the Department of Government Efficiency rising substantially, okay? And this is something where we've seen the price continue to fall around 16 cents for Doge. This is where there's a lot of fear injected into the markets with the tariffs. And this is where you can see the charting from Polymarket. 76% chance. All right, so this has risen 41% at the time of this being published, and now that's where you could see kind of where we're at, where Elon would be out of the Trump administration. Not sure, quite frankly, how they make that clarification, but it's just kind of illustrating. Not so much even if you're into gambling or betting, it's more so just the sentiment, okay? This is almost a poll, if you will, where people are putting their actual dollars to kind of represent where their sentiment is. Now, this has nothing to do with Dogecoin, but this whole video is about tying the connection within Dogecoin, Elon, and the Department of Efficiency, and how this kind of all kind of connects, all right? Now, this is all coming at the heels of kind of what we've seen, a little bit of a political move within the Supreme Court races in Florida and Wisconsin. And now that we've seen Tesla being at the forefront of the discussion, whether or not you consider that protest, it's definitely not peaceful, but there are acts of violence and crime. That's a whole nother discussion. But nonetheless, it does look to have an impact on the Dogecoin's price. This is something where I would see this being the opposite of the buy the rumor, sell the news. We may have a little bit of a sharp sell-off suddenly, but I also think this is something that would be the opposite of kind of buying the rumor, sell the news, where people would be basically selling the news and then buying the Dogecoin. I think that's kind of what would happen. Nobody has a crystal ball, but it would be a little bit of market manipulation in the other direction, where Elon's out, Dogecoin would fall probably 3 to 10% in my opinion, and then obviously those traders would come right back in after the fear kind of allows people to exit their positions, and then they would buy ultimately at a lower price for the longer term. Now, this is kind of where we look into the potential for a rebound. As we look into the price crash that we could see, a lot of people think that Dogecoin would shortly then jump right after, holding above that 15 cents and then seeing an explosion of 250%. We've been on a falling wedge for quite some time. That's why I don't use TA as my end-all be-all, because a falling wedge continues to fall until we get a reversal, and we might fall all the way back to where we were at in the kind of fall, summer of 2024 before we had that explosion in late November where we got as high as 30 plus cents, 35 plus cents, even over 40 cents for Dogecoin. Okay, so don't always put your stock into that in terms of the TA. That's just kind of my recommendation. It's not financial advice. I use it more so as a tiebreaker and kind of just feeling out the markets. But if you're playing the long game, right, this doesn't matter if you hold Dogecoin at 16 cents or 40 cents, because if we get to where we're going to, it really, quite frankly, won't matter if we were able to zoom out from this whole conversation and look years down the road. Okay, we've been talking about Dogecoin under 10 cents. And so obviously, if we're over 16 cents as we trade right here today, this is all profit. This is all kind of us into the green zone, especially if you are a holder for a long, long time. Okay. But that's kind of where you look into kind of where this would head. The most likely scenario, according to this analysis, is that Dogecoin's price would fall if Elon were to exit, and that's where it would bounce back, potentially 50% retracement up to the 28 cents level. That would represent an 80% increase. That's if you do view the TA as being the end-all, be-all. If that would be invalidated, that is something where you could see Dogecoin's forecast dropping to 10 cents. Now, what I want to kind of segue into before we talk more Elon is the fact that Dogecoin is going to do what it's going to do without Elon in the Department of Government Efficiency, okay? And he still likes the crypto. It's not going to change. It's not going to waver his positions. It's going to just not be at the forefront every day where you see him on Fox News, CNN, what have you, where Elon's going to be front and center in that discussion, okay? But it is relevant. I do think that he will continue to tweet about Dogecoin. He will still remain in his position as the Doge father. And quite frankly, we didn't get the pump that I was expecting from him being, in a governmental role with the Department of Government Efficiency. That really is pro-crypto, very favorable, and it just hasn't made that connection where we've seen the impact on the price charts, okay? But this is kind of what I wanted to end with as we get down into it. If you were to invest $5,000 and $10,000 in Dogecoin, when Elon Musk first tweeted about Dogecoin, how much would you have? And this is why Elon is so relevant for Dogecoin holders, okay? And there you can see the Doge father, and this is where you look into kind of the staggering gains that you would have at current market price. Now, this was in April 2023. Remember when he changed the X logo to the Dogecoin meme? We saw a price rise of 30%. A lot of speculation within kind of X payments, incorporating Dogecoin into that way to pay creators. But this is something where you look into the first time back on April 2nd, 2019, 6 years from what we saw a little bit ago on April 2nd, where you saw the viral tweet noting that Dogecoin might be his favorite cryptocurrency, noting that the asset was pretty cool. Now, that's where we saw Dogecoin open at 0.02552, and then that saw a 16% rally that day, which extended to over 40% over the next 3 days, and then that expansion of parabolic nature continued to unfold, where we saw a 29,000 plus % rally to the all-time high of 74 cents. So that's kind of what we look at. across the board, though, back from those levels in May of 2021, a lot of cryptos are really, really down, okay? And Dogecoin, for that matter, down 78% from that high as we look at the price tag of 16 cents today. So that's kind of why Elon is important for Dogecoin, because it does have an influence, okay? But looking at the kind of statement that I made, if you had 5K or 10K invested when Musk first tweeted, that's kind of where you look into a staggering amount in today's market. That would be worth a $5,000 investment would have been worth a $321,000 plus price tag at current conditions. Okay, so that's at current conditions, and you would need to do about a 4.5x on that number, and so that $5,000 would be worth a tick above $1 million at current market levels. Obviously, at a $10,000 investment, you would just double that, so that would be over $2 million. Okay, that you would have if you would have bought $10,000 in Dogecoin, and you would have sold at the absolute high when Elon Musk first tweeted way back when, April of 2019. So kind of a interesting look back historically, kind of a good piece to go over. But the big storyline here is what the price will what will happen with the price if Elon was to be out of the Department of Government Efficiency. I'll sum that all up for you guys. But before I do, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, join us here on the channel. And also, if you want to start trading on BTCC, links are down below. But just kind of put a bow on it. He's important for Dogecoin. I don't think that will change. And him being in the Department of Government Efficiency hasn't really led to the price impact that I think we all dreamed of due to the overall macro that's plaguing the market. So that's kind of where I'm at. So it's big news, but I think it's kind of no news at all because we haven't really seen the impact in a positive direction. So I don't think it will have quite much the impact in the negative direction as well. So please keep that in mind as you guys continue trading. All right. So that's what I'll leave you with. Enjoy it. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers.